What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Karina. Welcome to I Have Karina TV, and we are continuing our talk today on how I am branding myself using astrology when it comes to branding my music career. So, I'm excited to talk to you guys today about Venus. And I have on my channel the Venus Blueprint. I definitely think you should check it out if you like what we talk about today, because the Venus Blueprint allows you to learn what your Venus beauty and fashion is and apply what I'm talking about today to yourself if you're into that kind of stuff. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoy this. What we're gonna do is take a little music break so that I can share the link over to Facebook, let everyone else know that we are live right now. If you are watching and you need to leave or whatever, I'm gonna have timestamps on this, so you can come back and rewatch it and just skip forward to the parts that most interest you. Okay? All right. So for this moment, give me a second and let's let Facebook know we are here.
Karina, gang gang, abracadabra ho. I got that hocus pocus in my jeans. Left pocket out my ancestors guarding me. You can't stop this. Oops, there I go. Abracadabra in your face. Oof, oh, make your word magic. Make your word magical. Make your word magic, magic. Oof, oh, abracadabra in your face. Oof, oh, make the words magic.
All right, you guys. So we are ready to go. We're going to talk about Venus today and your Venus blueprint. Your Venus blueprint is actually the keys to the matrix and how you can infiltrate the matrix in a way that allows you to be more sociably accepted, charming, attractive on a very and if you like that game, then you are going to need to know your Venus blueprint. Okay. Now, some people just naturally attune to their Venus blueprint because they have great aspects in their chart, making them naturally, like, well able to put together their fashion and beauty. And some people struggle with that. Okay. Welcome to I Have Karina TV, because I definitely struggle with that. Having a Venus retrograde trine Saturn in Aries, right? There's a lot that happens where it takes time to uncover my own blueprint. But what this allows for me to do is to share with you guys what I'm learning along the way, and then you can learn from scratch with me. So there is no like perfection here, it's all experiments. Okay, so an understanding your Venus blueprint in your branding helps you to portray a side of you, not just that is aesthetically pleasing, but because it's your natural birth chart energy, it's going to be natural for you. And if you're not accustomed to your blueprint, um, you should actually feel like the body, the energy from the colors that you wear to the materials that you're doing to how you're portraying and showing the shape of your body, the shape of your entire being, right? This is just as energetically important as anything else, right? The people you come in contact with, all of that. So colors matter, just everything matters. And we understand this through, the Venus sensations, the need to have all of our senses being stimulated. Venus energy is all about pleasure. It's all about finding that pleasing energy, and sometimes can be confused with happiness. So I really need to let you guys know to check out my video on Venus is not as feminine as you think, to really be able to grasp what I'm trying to do here, which is give you tools, right? But you have the choice to use them or not. But in your branding, you may want to use them as they can be a key player in your game. Help you to naturally uplift yourself in maybe even a faster way. I mean, I have Venus in Aries, so I naturally want things to be a little bit faster. Um, Now, there are a few things that you may be working on. For me, I'm going to be using my music business, my music artistry as an example for you on how I'm branding myself. But I'm actually, experimenting on this across the board. But, as a music artist, I have had a history of dealing with different types of experiences in music theater and all of that, how to apply that to wanting to be maybe an R&B artist and be more interesting, has been the thing that I've been dealing with. Venus allows me to see that with it being in Aries, right? All of the zodiac signs have different color assignments. So choosing more hot reds, hot oranges are things that are helping me to just kind of penetrate my energy out into the world. At least that's what I believe it does. So yeah, so you want to, when you watch your Venus video, which I have on the channel, you want to pay attention to the colors that I'm mentioning in those videos, to consider what colors are the best for you. And you may play around with different shades of that family of colors, because you definitely want to have something that complements you, okay? But this is important for Aries and for Scorpio, that how the colors complement your skin color um, are important, especially in the aspects of DNA and gene activation. So this goes deep. You know what I'm saying? Colors are important. Okay. So when you're able to understand the energies of your zodiac, you're understanding what in your body are you trying to awaken? What in your body do you need to showcase, right? To be aesthetically pleasing. Yes, it is Venus is love, but Venus is conditional love. Okay. So I hope that I'm not losing you guys here. Let me know if I am. Um, so colors are one of the first things that I focus on. And when you understand the blueprint, right, you'll also understand that what aspects are happening to your Venus are also important. There are also different planets that play important roles that you can include in your blueprint. For instance, you can dress like your Venus placement. For me, Venus is in Aries, but I could also dress more like my Taurus placement, right? And that would portray me trying to shine, be more egotistical, be more prideful. Okay. So your planetary energy can mix in with all the Venus energy. You can do any single choice that you want with the Venus blueprint, but depending on what planet you choose depends on what you're going to open out for yourself. For instance, if I if I portray a more intellectual side of myself, a side that shows my intelligence and whatnot, this is pulling from my moon in Gemini energy. Okay. Now, when I say portray, I don't mean like just sitting and having a lecture like this, but let's say trying to look smart, right? That's Venus energy, trying to impress upon. So, trying to appear to be smart is actually what I would be doing to try to pull out my moon energy, right? When I do my music, I've been focusing mainly on Venus, Venus and Aries, and using the Venus blueprint as a foundation. Okay, so where your Venus is where you start. It is where you can begin. If you're lazy like me, you may just want to end there. If you want to take it to different levels, you can understand that complexity of the blueprint. And that's when you're really a magician, in the sense of being able to take your astrology and see all the aspects, see all the possibilities, and then start to make choices for yourself on what do I want to evoke, what do I want to portray. um so I'm just really hoping that it makes sense. Okay, so now when we look at let's say, what you want to put on a album cover. For you, it may be a product label or merchandise, right? You also want to consider your rising energy. Your rising sign can showcase who you are trying to portray and impress upon for strangers and acquaintances, people that don't know you as well. Okay. Now, if you have your Venus in the rising, then it will all be the same structure. You would just follow your Venus. But let's say that your rising is a different sign. Now you're going to be able to make more comparisons as to how to dress like your rising versus dress like your Venus. Sometimes you may want to really integrate them. Sometimes you may want the two versions of yourself to be appearing to be two different versions of yourself. Okay. For example, if I have Libra rising and Venus is in my seventh house, which is going to be opposite, your rising is in your first house, Venus is in the seventh. There's two actually fighting images of myself that I'm working on portraying. So these are the things that I have choices of, right? Do I want to portray a more kinder side, Libra Venus, or do I want to portray a more dominant fiery energy side, excuse me, fiery energy side, Venus Aries. So when you start to look at, okay, I want to make product merchandise, I want to take photos of myself, right? If you really are a scientist at this and you really want to play around with this astrology game, then you might really start to play around with these ideas. It's almost like a tool. It is a tool that you can use if you're ever feeling lost in how to brand yourself on the fashion and beauty side. That's basically what Venus blueprint is for. Okay, so again, using your rising will help you to show how you want to portray yourself out into the world, especially for first impressions and for people who've never met you before, which usually most people are trying to acquire more, more people towards them. So Venus is a powerful tool in allowing you to see that you can do that. Okay, cool. Well, if you've got your notepad out, then I feel like it's making sense and it's resonating. So that's awesome. Um, okay, great. So let's say that you want to again portray a more kinder, softer, compassionate, gentler side to yourself. Okay. People do this all the time. Is just that we're just using astrology to do it. So, let's say that you want to appear to a different audience that needs more of a compassionate side to you, then you may want to pull from your moon energy. Okay. For me, an example is I have a Venus in Aries, Venus retrograde in Aries. So Aries is a combative energy, and this can be not so welcoming. Even though it's my foundation, it may not always be very useful for me to always be so combative, right? So when I'm wearing these bright reds and this fierce sexual energy, it's going to create more conflict for me, which is a part of the blueprint, but I just have to understand that, right? So if I want to say, okay, I want to just alter that, right? Alternate that, kind of pull something else, then I would use my moon energy. So let's say that you have a placement that is not appealing, sorry, the word appealing to more compassionate, vulnerable side of you. Your Venus placement may be in conflict with being that way, or you just want to tap into that energy, whatever your intentions are. In But your intentions are important. You want to look at your moon placement, and then you just want to put your moon in the Venus blueprint. So my moon is in Gemini. So I would go to the videos of all the Venuses and just look up Venus and Gemini and understand those rules. And then try to pull that out more so that I could appear to be more compassionate. So when I pull my moon in Gemini, this is exactly what I feel is happening. My Venus in Aries is fiery and combative, which can be offsetting. My moon in Gemini allows me to portray a more goofier, student, geekier side to it. So it shows a side of myself that shows that I'm not taking myself seriously when I get so fierce. I'm not really here to fight as much as I'm here to be comical and troll and have fun. So the moon energy allows to unveil an aspect to myself where people can relate, be kind, and more compassionate. Because abiding by my Venus is the important part, but allowing moon energy to come in will help to open up more opportunities, insight, and doors for me. So when you brand yourself, right, this whole series is about being true to yourself. And so when we look at your astrology, it's just allowing you to show you where you are true to yourself. Again, you can always choose differently, but it's just about understanding your energies and basically abiding and complementing them. Um, you have to be from a place of really I mean, I'm a pretty big overthinker already, but you have to be from a place of kind of seeing it separate from you as a illusion, right? So that you can really dissect yourself and really just admit, accept who you are, what you are, right? That's sometimes one of the hardest parts about branding, because branding is about who you truly are and not really anything else. It allows you to be consistent, allows you to be truthful, it allows you to be reliable and credible to people when you are who you are, right? And this gives um, you this position of being somebody's important go to when it comes to the idea of branding. And that's exactly what branding is, it's this image or vision or feeling in people's minds, remembering what you are, what you do for them, and why they, you know, put you in this box of this is where I go when I need this. So that's the idea of branding. And this comes from the Taurus energy, comes from the Venus energy. So your Venus blueprint is very powerful in understanding all of the aspects and choices that you have in your birth chart. So you can portray any planet and use your Venus. I haven't done this yet, but if I wanted to be more Plutonian, I could just say my Pluto's in Scorpio, my Pluto is in the second house, analyze your Pluto. Say, okay, I want to portray a more powerfully dynamic person who is secure in their monetary value, whatever. Right. And then place it in the blueprint and look at Venus and Scorpio, right? And knowing that when I dress like a Venus and Scorpio, it activates my natal Pluto. And now I can tap into that second house energy. Okay, so I hope that this has been useful to you guys in understanding the Venus blueprint. There are several videos that I've done on Venus, along with this branding one. I think I'll put them all in a playlist, and just so that they're all in one place. And then they all have timestamps, so you can just click through the ones that you need, and allow you to even like take down a notebook. That's like really great, and start to dissect your Venus. In fact, that's what I do. Being a moon in Gemini, I have several notebooks, and I will sit down and jot down ideas. One recent change that you guys have seen is my hair. Now, I use my sun energy to affirm, right? Just to say, like, yeah, this is the way to go. Definitely start changing up your hair. It wasn't as much for everybody else as much as it was me, right? Sun energy. The sun, my sun, does a trine with Neptune. And if you guys know the Venus in Pisces blueprint, which Neptune would be related to, right? You're gonna find the entire thing is connected to the seas and the oceans, and braided hair is not just the seas and the oceans, but the look of it, the idea of it, the aesthetic of it, right? You just can't go too deep. We're not going to go political. We're just going by a stereotype, an aesthetic stereotype, right? Is belonging to that Venus and Pisces aesthetic, especially when we look at the sea energy, right? The oceans is basically what I'm saying. The oceans, mermaids, the pirates, things like that. So choosing a more Neptunian hairstyle, right, helps me to feel more confident in myself. So using the sun's energy is where you can tap into your pride and your ego. You can tap more into your confidence in yourself, right? So you use your Venus, but you can also tap into all your other planets and discover how the energy signals influence you, help you to embody certain energies that you just may not have considered. So it's like your magician's toolbox. Okay. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope that you found something of value here. And if you have, let me know, comment, like, let me know if you want a part 4. If you do, what more would you want me to talk about, or what parts of your brand are you trying to evoke, and how we can use your astrology to do that. um, okay, and we can make it a team collaboration here, because like I said, I'm still experimenting myself. Cool. If you have a question, I'm still here drinking my coffee. Okay, so all right, so I will see you guys in the next live. Peace and love.